Be excellent to each other and party on. We're back for another Legacy League, and today we are playing blue-white tokens with no reserve list cards. You can build this deck for a few $100s. It doesn't even have Tamio in it, so it's pretty budget, and it's pretty strong. I had a great league with it previously, and some people recommended trying Ash Barrens as a way that we can still play a whole lot of basic lands and not play any non-basic lands so that we're not clashing with our back to basics, but that we can just have another way to reliably get our second color. So this is not a legacy power level card, but because we're doing no reserve list, I'm going to try it. And then we have just incredible token generators, Staff of the Storyteller, Legion's Landing, Astrologian's Planisphere, which creates very, very stacked hero tokens, and of course, Storm Chaser's Talent, which pairs excellent with Boomerang basics. We also have this card, Proft's Eidetic Memory, which means Proft's photographic memory, essentially. He's got his Mind Palace there. He can remember everything. You have no maximum hand size. You get to draw a card when it comes into play for one blue, one colorless. And then at the beginning of combat on your turn, if you've drawn more than one card this turn, put X +1/+1 counters on target creature you control, where X is the number of cards you've drawn this turn -1. Very strong. Buffs up your different tokens, helps you get across the finish line. We are a back to basics list. We've got one in the main, one in the side. I've got Narset in the side for our Beans opponents, for our One Ring opponents. We've got Battle of Bywater in case we go up against like Blue-Black Tempo or something that has lots of big creatures, Eldrazi. And then, of course, we've got our Force of Negations, so we can take out all our removal cards and board into lots of interaction. I've got On Thin Ice as Swords to Plowshares number 5 and 6. Since we are a control deck and we're always going to be targeting a snow land, and these cannot generally be removed from play. So this is pretty much like a plow type effect. We could even bounce it if it's targeting like a token or something. We can even bounce it back to hand and exile a second card. So I'm excited to see how that goes. And the first round has already started. We're up against Captain Africa. They are a Loam Pox enthusiast. I think this deck is actually really good against Loam Pox. This hand sucks, but it does have our colors, and call me a coward. I don't want to mull into like some clunky hand that doesn't have the colors we need. We're going to get advantage through Staff of the Storyteller, assuming they don't Thoughtseize us immediately. If we draw a Brainstorm, it becomes trivial to fix our hand. So let's open Snow-Covered Island. Hatchery, great card. Shadow Spear, okay. So they can go wide of what we're capable of if we give them enough time. I'm going to try not to give them enough time. Staff comes in. We get our dude. If they are able to Smallpox, it takes out one of our lands, but we got plenty of lands. Smallpox is particularly powerful in this form, in this deck because, oh, Rumble. Yeah, that's good. So it looks like they're on kind of like a Landsy version of this, which I love. I played a lot of Loam Pox back before the bannings, and I'm really impressed with this hatchery card in conjunction with... Okay, so there's Hogak. We can just Boomerang him back to hand, but they can redeploy. They don't currently actually have any creatures to play them out, but if they sack this or if they waste this, they get it back. They don't have a Loam here. I think we're doing okay here, but there is cause for concern when Hogak is in the yard. Okay, Brainstorm, fix our hand, please. And we can do this during a turn where they don't have Bowmaster mana up. Bowmaster is almost certainly in their deck. All right, this is pretty good. Pretty good. So we could make a giant, like Astrologian's Planisphere. It'll become giant very quickly. I'm going to put back this. Put back this. I'm just going to fetch Island here. Do I want a Planisphere? I think it's fine. This will give us another staff counter, and we can cash these in later. They could have Witherbloom Command and clear it, but the other option is, of course, to just Legion's Landing. And yeah, we're kind of choked on white. I'm going to get more white here. Planisphere does a lot of damage very quickly, and they're already doing damage to themselves. They can gain life with this. So we get a trigger. We'll pass. I will come in for one. Yeah, I'm just going to do as much damage to them as quickly as possible and hope that that gets it done. Legion's Landing creates a lifelinker, which is kind of cool. If we draw Profts, we can use this to gain a lot of life. Profts would be a really good draw here. Because this is probably Loam, or well, I don't know what it is. This is probably Witherbloom. They're going to blow up our staff. Kill our hero construct. It's going to be a pretty bad blowout, actually, if they have that. Yep. By the amount of time it was taking them, I figured that was what was happening. But luckily, they left us with the hero token. We could have like dazed or something, and then it would be big enough that it wouldn't have died. So I see why they did that. Okay, that's a good play. That's some serious value. They denied us 2 draws, and they get back a land. Underground Mortuary. Oh, they could have grabbed this hatchery, but they're probably concerned about the life loss. Okay. Urza Saga. We don't have any tools in our deck to deal with that, unfortunately. They could just block this if it gets really big. Force of Will is great. I definitely am happy to have that on board, but I'm worried about these. Should I be worried about it, though? Because I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and play this out. I'm going to attack. I want to see how they block, and then I can just make Planisphere a lot bigger. They are not jumping. Okay, well, you're going to take some extra damage then. Okay, so this grows twice. It grows when you draw your 3rd card, which just happened. We've already made our land drop. I don't need this land. Legion's Landing is not the worst because it creates a chump. It creates a body that blocks. I think what I'd rather do is just... I think I shuffle away the Legion's Landing here and I ponder. No, I can Legion's Landing and then Boomerang Basics. I think that's probably worth doing. So I can put back this. Yeah. Then we get 2 bodies. So they take 4. Now I'm going to go ahead and Legion's Landing body. And then I'm going to go ahead and grab another island, I guess. Since they got rid of our thing that lets us draw cards. Why not? I do want to shuffle before I do anything. And then I can Boomerang Basics. No, if I get a Plains, then I can Boomerang Basics and redeploy. That seems better. And I could have... I knew that if I made this really big, they would just chump. So I didn't bother with that. So this is really big. If they have a way to clear this, it's going to be pretty annoying. Okay, we got a land for next turn. We have Force up. Got a lot of bodies on the table. Next turn, we can actually probably get this flipped. They can just use this as a chumper. I'm trying to think of what I would force. They would need to waste this. I'm going to definitely stop a Smallpox. They don't even have a second black for Smallpox. Now they do. So if this is Smallpox, I will definitely stop it. I think this is a force. This card's hard to deal with. Okay, and they're passing. I mean, they are actually dead if I can clear this. Let's see if I can find a removal spell. I think that does it. Okay, wow, that felt great. And this Planisphere, I did a league where I did not do particularly well, and Planisphere was instead, I was playing Felia. Felia wouldn't have done a lot here. I feel like Planisphere is the way to go. Okay, so this is definitely a Force Negation matchup. It's also a Back to Basics matchup. I think that can really wreck them. As far as cards that we can take out, I don't really want to take out any of our removal. Because like on Thin Ice being blinkable, it's pretty good. They are a Loam deck is why I'm so high on Force Negation here. We got to stop the Loam. I'm not wild about this card. It was pretty good there, but you have to consider the fact that they have Bowmaster and this will never get bigger. It's not like where we can, cast a Brainstorm with Bowmaster on the stack and protect like our otters and stuff. We can't do that with this. So I think that's the cut. I mean, this could be good. Plow is definitely more flexible. They're not like a heavy creature deck. There is a situation where like we could be down to like 1 land due to a series, and we'd actually have to sacrifice the land that was holding this, and we'd lose control of the creature that was underneath it. I think we'd take it out. Now we're almost completely blue. I think this is fine. All right, this is pretty good. Storm Chaser's talent applies pressure. We got double force. I'm gonna keep this. Marsh Flats. So we have answers to Loam and we have answers to Bowmaster. Their thoughts using us. They'll probably take the Force Negation if they have Loam. They may take something like Storm Chaser Talent or Proft's Eidetic Memory. They did take the Storm Chaser Talent. Okay. Well, that takes away our turn 1 play, but I'm actually going to go ahead and just ponder anyway. We can keep 2 of the 3 cards. Back to Basics is not good here at all. I don't actually really want any of these cards. I'm going to shuffle. All right, another Force Negation. Probably not what we're looking for, but it's fine. Catacombs. Bayou. May. Every card in my deck is a Non-creature spell. This will do a lot of damage over the next few turns. I think I am going to force it. I will pitch my Force Negation. This might make them shields down, thinking I don't have one, but I do. Okay. Yeah, this is a good card. As you may have seen it on my channel. I played it in my mono black deck. It's a good sideboard card, which I believe is where our opponent's playing it. I'm going to go ahead and get the memory in. Okay. Yeah, these are all pretty expendable cards. Bowmasters is public enemy number 1. We'll definitely want to stop him more than anything else. If this is a Witherbloom command, I don't want them getting a land back. I'm just going to go ahead and force again. I think they may not have Loam at this point if they haven't cast it. I'm just going to go ahead and do this. I'll put Brainstorm under here. They did have a land anyway. Okay, so it wouldn't have been that impactful if we just like taken the 2-for-1, especially because we drew another one. That's embarrassing. But we'll just pitch to force. Planisphere is good. I think what I do here is I just drop Planisphere next turn. I'll go ahead and play this out so I can have a land draw for the turn. Then we'll try to ride Planisphere to victory, but it's going to be a long, rocky road. They still have 3 cards over there. They're going to surveil so they can get some card quality. I don't think we're winning this game. Having to force twice was pretty brutal. They've been a swamp. Man, that is a sick looking swamp. Thutsies, I'm going to let it go. Definitely feeling vulnerable here. They'll probably take, yeah, I mean, that's fine. Okay, so I'll just go get a island here, and then we'll get this in. I'm not going to wait. Don't want the card under there. Our opponent has perfect information. If they want to Bowmaster this, they can, unfortunately. And I'll probably just concede to that because we're very far behind. Having to kill May was really brutal. Like, I would have taken a lot of damage by now, though. Oh, Loam? Okay, well, it would have been nice if I could have countered that, but they just got back a bunch of regular lands. Okay, that's pretty rough. Good game. Yeah, we're not going to come back from that, I don't think. Not with Loam going, because they find like a, yeah. Okay, so how do we want to do it this time? I think Antenai still stays in the sideboard. Yeah, I don't know that I want to change anything. I did feel like a lot of pitch cast cards there. I'm also not confident in back to basics. They are playing a number of basics. I think I can probably cut it. And then I can bring back in Legion's Landing. Probably just as something to do. Yeah, I think I'll do that. I've still got 6 forces. This is not keepable. Let's mulligan this. This is like, you don't want Ash Barrens to be the only land. Okay, and of course, our deck proceeds to give us, a 5-lander. But we are putting one back. We are up against Pox. I'm just going to be patient and open with Legion's Landing. I'll put back an island. All right, so we'll play this out. It doesn't do a lot of value, but, it's something that we can use to gain life. I'm not going to hold it. Because if they thought he's like, okay, great. They keep their top, and they have 7 cards in hand. I think we're not well positioned this game. Okay, that's a great card. That is exactly the kind of card we need to draw here. All right, and now we've got an engine that can easily be collapsed by Bowmasters, but still, it is an engine. I wish I had a blue card for Force. Okay, Saga. That's not Small Pox, but that is Bowmaster. That's May. Okay, she's out. They have a lot of non-creature spells in their deck. It's possible that... Deck, please do not do this to me. All right, I'm going to try to draw here. Okay. I think I just boomerang basics and take some damage here. Does that help me in the long run? I mean, it creates a token. Yeah, I think it's worth taking 4 damage to draw a card. Yeah, I'll do this. It's pretty mana efficient. And we're doing it under Bowmasters. We could find a blue card when we draw, which would be ideal. We do. Okay, I'm going to just play this out and then I'll have double blockers for her if she chooses. No, wait, she's first strike. I could triple block her. Oh my goodness, what am I supposed to do here? I mean, I want to hold up Force. If they attack with 3, I can blow it out like they may push or something, and then I force. But like I'm gonna lose 2 of these. I'm just gonna attack. I'll let her attack. If she attacks, I'll attack back. I'm gonna take 2 from the Force though. If they're able to start creating constructs, it's very bad for us. Okay, they're using this mana to do something else instead. Abrupt Decay, I can't stop that. That is an extremely frustrating card for them to have because that nullifies my card draw engine. They don't attack, okay. This is going to not do anything here, it looks like. Okay, so let's think about this. Storm Chaser's talent is pretty good. I think it's worth playing out. The reason I think it's worth playing out is because... Actually, I'm going to brainstorm. I want to see what I get off brainstorm. It's painful. But, like, this is not Bowmasters. All right, I get a new staff. Planisphere is okay. I'm going to put back an island. I'll shuffle that. I'm going to put back Ponder. I'm definitely not casting that on the current board state. But I am going to cast Staff, and then I can immediately draw before they can do anything about it. And I get another body. Doing a lot of damage to ourselves here. But we do have lifelink. So if they attack, then we can attack back and gain some life. Let's do this now. 4. Okay, this is actually a pretty good hand. I'll come in for 1, and then I'll just chill. I am very worried. Planisphere would be good, but it's not good enough. They could needle our staff if they're worried about it. They're not creating a body, which I'm very grateful for. Pithing Needle. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. I've already gotten value out of it. I don't even know if I want to play more creatures here. This is a force. I will pitch a Storm Chaser's talent here. Planisphere does damage to us, but it's a better body. So we'll take the damage here, unfortunately. They don't have Veil. Wasteland. Loam. Yeah, Loam is... So you take your damage from that, and then I'm going to force this. I'm very low in life, but I did stop them from getting recurring Urza Sagas. They're down to 3 cards. They choose not to attack. Okay. Let's see what we get here. This does 2 damage to us. It does not help us at all. I think I just attack. Oh, man. What would I even be willing to cast at this point? I'm so low in life. I'd be willing to plow her, of course. Yeah, I think I just hold this. We're not going to be drawing any cards, unfortunately, due to this. If I get too low, then like this starts to become a real pain. Wasteland. Love it. Okay, we're doing 2 per turn cycle. We don't have any non-creature spells in our entire deck. So this is damage that we don't need to take. I'm just going to hold it. I can pitch it if they like smallpoxes or something. And now that we have passed the turn cycle where we can easily get in with Bowmasters, like if they draw Bowmasters, the game's probably over, sadly. They keep drawing land though. Force Negation is pretty good. So now we can stop whatever their next big spell is. But I would like to stop Bowmasters above all else. If I attack for 3, I could have actually activated this, but this would have just died. And then I would have been able to create a creature every turn with lifelink. I think I actually punted by not noticing that I could have done that. We'll see what happens here, but I'm willing to admit that this was probably a mistake and I should have been attacking. Okay, I'm going to attack for 3 here just so I can get a creature. Force is a great rip. Now we technically have double force. Oh, if we make it though, we lose the guy immediately, don't we? But we do get to make a thing along the way. Is it worth it? I mean, it's just trading one for another. I don't think it's worth it. I'm just going to come in like this and I'm going to hang back. I'm scared to play this out. Again, like every point of damage matters here. I might have to force twice. They're fetching. What could they possibly be getting at this point? They did a damage to themselves with that? Okay. All right. So I can plow here. If I plow here and attack all, like in the life back, I take 2. Yeah, I'm going to do it. They may have a lot of stuff in hand. They just scooped. Yeah, that was pretty cool. Like that's a good example of May just being risky. I don't think it's a great fit for their deck. I think it's a good fit for a deck that's like all creatures, like my mono black deck. But yeah. So YQ or YWQMD. No idea what they're on. This hand's fine. This is a classic, like, okay, we're going to spend the first turn Barons cycling, Ash Baroning. Hopefully they're not on a Stifle deck because they could completely lock us off. They call me Sir, which is nice. I'm not that old. All right, let's keep. All right, this could be Stifle. But they'll have to be doing it during their turn because they'll want to Stifle. Oh, yeah. There we go. Let's get in with our Storm Chaser talent. And, you know, this will probably just get Bowmaster or whatever, but I'm having fun. Next turn, we can Proft and then buff it further. I do think 3 is the maximum you want to play. I played 4 in the previous video, and I definitely had them collide a lot. Okay. This could be anything. Stoneblade. It's most likely beans now. Yeah, that happens. Okay. Yeah, this is if you haven't been watching my recent videos, I've just been cleaning up with beans. Like I've got like 5 4-1s and 2 trophies. It's just an insane deck right now. So I think this is probably just Proft for damage. This will most likely get forced. It probably is pretty scary when you look at all the text on there. Like, yeah, I should force that. And when you get the bean card anyway, they said, man, what the heck? Yeah, it's a good card. So I'll draw my card. We'll just come in for a little bit of a hug here. We'll always yield to that. 3 damage. And now we can just distribute. Like, next turn, I could Ash Baron for an island, play an island, and then Storm Chaser, and then Ponder. And then I could distribute the tokens to the other card. Okay, they're not doing anything. This could be Endurance. I don't think Endurance is legacy playable right now. The graveyard just doesn't matter as its own. Now I'm kind of thinking of Storm Chaser Talenting. Yeah, let's go get an island. This way I don't have to use Ash Barons ever. I can just shuffle it away at some point with a Brainstorm. Let's do this. This could represent Bowmasters, which would be very devastating. How much risk am I taking? This is a 3/3 already. I don't think I'm taking that much risk. I'm going to Ponder. Then we're looking for, like, probably Legion's Landing. Okay, they're getting that. They're going to Leyline Bind this, I guess. Yeah, that triggers. So which one are they going after? Like, I can still Proft to oh, they're taking away the Proft itself. Okay. Yeah, that's fine with me. I don't mind. I mean, I understand that it's like a scary thing, but yeah, I mean, these cards are nutty. We do have mana, so I think we just put the Force in our hand. We draw the Planisphere. We Proft. We can do Planisphere and Proft, but I think Boomerang Basics. Just kill them quickly with Boomerang Basics. Let's come across. They're at 11. We have Force up. And next turn we have Profts and Boomerang Basics. I could cycle this. I'm tempted to cycle it just to get another island because island is the key card here, key color. My opponent said, bro, about to teach me some lessons. I will hope so, but it's not guaranteed. Flow, yeah, that's a 2-for-1. I think I just want to get the island here and just get this janky card out of my hand. They're probably like, what the hell? Is that legacy playable? I guarantee you, I'm the only person on MTGO playing this in Legacy. I would be stunned if anybody else is playing it. If you see anybody else play it, let me know. All right. I always love like when people are like, that's not Legacy playable, and then I beat them with it. Or when I'm like, that's not Legacy playable, and then my opponent beats me with it. Okay, so staff is obviously good here. We can't staff and Proft. I think Proft is the priority because it bumps up the damage and our opponent seems scared of it. So I'll do this first. See what we draw. They force it. Do we care? Well, yeah, I don't think I care that much. I think I'm just going to go wide with staff. Yeah, let's do that. And I'm holding force for like bigger things. Like a second Beanstalk would be pretty devastating. And then next turn I can start regrowing stuff. Okay, so this I am going to force because this is my draw engine. And this also buffs my dude when I do it. And you always force before the Beanstalk trigger, so that just in case they have a blue card or a force, or vice versa, they can't get it. Now we're going to hit them for 4, and we've got 2 bodies on the table. And we've got regrowth on force next turn, potentially, to just keep them from clearing. Okay, they're going to plow this, I think. So that's yet another card advantage spell, but they might be Leyline Binding. I mean, this Beanstalk is drawing tons of cards this game. Okay, that's great. Okay, so I'm fine. I want to get ahead in cards. I will get ahead in cards eventually if my opponent is willing to throw away value the way they are. I'm not saying that they're doing anything wrong, but, you know, they're respecting our offensive for sure. Okay, so that's yet another land. Uro would be annoying. Narset is not a big deal. I can just draw during their turn. They chose it up the Beanstalk, so now I need a blue card and then I need a regrow a force. Sadly, that's what has to happen here. Okay, I got the blue card. Just going to go and regrow it. Yeah, I'll play this out. Because we have to stop that force. Or the Beanstalk. Like, the game will just spiral out of control. So let's go ahead and attack Narset here. Rule number 1 of going against Beanstalk decks. Force Beanstalk. Remove it with Prismatic Ending and take the card loss if you must. But always stop it. They said, I'm going to lose to Sage 6 Otters. I think you'll probably lose before then. But I would love for that to be the outcome of the game. Okay, they're fetching to 7. Surveilling. They've got 2 Surveils and a Xander's Lounge in their deck. They are minusing here. Okay. They found a force. Okay, this is bad. This is really bad. So they can force back, and then they get this in. I'm going to go ahead and draw just in case I draw a blue card. Okay, yeah, and I'm going to force pitching this Brainstorm instead. Because this can potentially... Okay, we stopped it. Ding Dong, the Witch is dead. What are the other 3 cards in your hand? Okay, Prismatic Ending on my staff. That was a 3-for-1. But again, they've gotten lots of cards off Beanstalk. They got 2 cards off of Narset. We're not ahead by any means. Can we win here? I don't think we can, but I'm going to try. Memory. They are tapped out of removal colors. That's a card we can put back if we find a shuffle. If we find another Brainstorm, we could actually win. Then Ice goes back. Island goes back. I'd rather draw the Island at this point actually than the on thin ice. Play this. Let's go ahead and play this. So we get the trigger. Now this will get bigger on its own. Want to attack. They said this deck is weirdly good. That is how I roll with the Spicy Brews. 5 damage, you're at 2. And that's a permanent 5/5. Beanstalk. Okay, they found the 3rd Beanstalk. If they just leyline bind, they could like quickly beat me from here. But if they don't have that, they're dead. They do have leyline binding. Okay, that's sad. They'll probably take the Flying Spirit that's going to kill them here. But if they find more removal, anything goes. What I can do is I can regrow Brainstorm. Brainstorm, this gets really big. And Eidetic Memory makes it even bigger. It's crazy that they have 4 cards in hand after all the 2-for-1s we've gotten. But that just shows you... What? Really? Okay. It's the Leyline Binding? What is this? Murktide Regent? Okay. You know what is bigger than a Murktide Regent is this after I brainstormed. Another Ponder. Hopefully they don't have a force. They've been getting so many cards off these Beanstalks. I think they've drawn probably like 8 or 10 cards. They're 31 cards in their deck right now. 32 to my 39. Like my cards, individual cards have been bearing a lot more load than theirs have been. Okay, actually, I think we just have it because they're tapped out. They have to have force here. Let's see what we draw. Oh, we knew what we were going to draw. Let's go ahead and... Oh, I already used the ability. They were smart. They took out the one that had the extra ability here. So I can't do anything here. I mean, I can level it all the way up Top card of my deck is on thin ice though. So that solves this problem. But they're going to get an entire another turn. Double Beanstalk going. I have to level this up as a sorcery. I'm going to do it. I know my top card. There's not really any benefit to... yeah. They can't attack here, but thin ice, if they don't counter it, answers what they're doing over there. This is tense. This is not a good matchup. This is the kind of big control deck that a smaller control deck like mine does not want to match up to. I mean, it's even worse for like tempo decks, I think. Like, I feel like I'm completely in control when I'm against tempo decks for the most part, unless they have Bowmasters when I'm playing the deck that my opponent's playing. Okay, Savannah, you've got 4 cards in your hand. Tomio is nice. That is going to save you from death. A Quantum Riddler, okay. Yeah, I don't know how we win. How do we win when they're drawing? I mean, I might be able to like deck them. This is bigger. This is big enough to hit Quantum Riddler. We get a thing. Only when we cast instants and sorceries. They don't have good attacks. Okay, they sense that they don't have good attacks and they don't attack. All right, so here on thin ice, I think I just ice this and attack in with this, but like I might as well hold back. I might want to take out Quantum Riddler. Is that better? I could take a Tomio. This is just instant or sorcery, unfortunately. I could hold it. I mean, they're about to attack me for a lot. It's another entire turn cycle of them doing degenerate stuff. I think I need to get lucky and have them somehow punt. Or play out this land. The land doesn't do anything. If I find a brainstorm, I'll be glad I kept the land in hand. I think I just pass. And I mean, I can put power on this, but exiling Tomio is probably actually the safest thing to do because these other cards, but then I don't have a way to clear these. I think I'm just going to pass. I know that may seem weird, but like neither of these are useful in terms of, oh wait, I have an idea. I already passed. Yeah. What I could have done is equip this and then put this on and then they would have had to force block. Yeah, that was totally the line. I'm just totally blind to it for some reason. That's embarrassing. Yeah, because I could have equipped here and then this would make it a 6/6 and then they'd have to block with that and they'd lose both of these in the turn cycle. They wouldn't have to block with it. They could block with Tomio, but yeah, it's not going to get better. I think I just totally punted here. They might be thinking about how to get rid of this because it is scary. The notion that I can create a bunch of otters when they're 2 life. It looks like that might be what they're doing. We'll see. They're drawing 2 cards. They're flipping their Tomio without even attacking for a clue. They could have done this at instant speed after creating the clue. They are going for that one. Okay. So that's not really what I was worried about. Just get greedy and attack me. Get greedy and attack me. I think the odds of them having a force, they've used 1, 2 forces. Odds are they have a force. Okay, they're being disciplined. There we go. So I think the first play is, let's go ahead and ponder. If they're going to force something, I want them to force this. This grows this. Force negation. That's fine. That's what I wanted you to do. Huh. So if I move this over, yeah, I'm going to do it. I just hope they don't have a plow or something like that. I'll just enchant one of my lands here. Does this resolve? No. You're forcing to 1. Okay. You hit 2 cards. I'm hellbent, but I'm not going to show you that. Oh, wait. That is big enough. Unfortunately, it's just still not quite big enough to get through. So we're going to pass. I actually think I move it back over to here now. I don't know. We'll see. I'll probably have mana to do that next turn. All right. Yeah, they just... I mean, of course they're going to have it all. They've drawn almost their entire deck. What I'm basically trying to fight through is the equivalent of them Tomio ultimating. So they can just blink this out of existence. Yeah, they're playing very conservatively. I respect that a lot. I don't feel like trading here, but maybe I should. I'm gonna trade here. They probably have more where that came from, but maybe it's their only one. Next turn they have like carte blanche to start attacking me. I need something impactful, deck. I'm not going to win. I'm not going to keep playing. That was frustrating. Again, I tried very hard to stop beans, but then they had another beans. And even though we were very close to winning, we weren't that close, unfortunately. I think Anthen Ice comes out. Back to Basics absolutely comes in. So we've got all three of those. Narcissus definitely coming in. I could take out another Plow. I don't know. The Plow, like by the time with the Felia, I think it is correct to play Plow. I just wanted to bring in a couple force negations, but I don't want to screw myself mana-wise. I mean, they're like doing nothing to oppose my mana. I'm tempted to just take this out just because it's bad, first of all. And second, because, Narset, I think this is fine. It'll be a miracle if we can beat this deck. I felt like we were pretty close to beating it there, though. This is Island Ponder Prey, but it is Storm Chaser Talent. It does have force, and it has back to basics. I'm going to keep this. What I'll do is I'll start with Storm Chaser, and then next turn I'll Ponder to try to find land. I've got double Ponder. I think there's a high likelihood that I find land. And you always want to cast your Ponders turn 2 if you have something else to do, just to maximize the number of looks. Which is one of the reasons Felia is so powerful, because she always gives you turn 1, Tamio is so powerful. That's fine. I will be forcing Beanstalk. I think that's probably the only card I'd be willing to force here. I'm just going to ignore Tamio because I'm going to hope that my Back to Basics locks down their ability to produce clues. I also have Boomerang Basics if Tamio gets too crazy over there. All right, this should reveal a land. I've got 18 in my deck. It does not. Well, I could take a force and... no, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to any order shuffle this. All right, we'll come in for 2. That's very frustrating, but that's when Bosch rolls his Island Ponder Keep, I disagree with him. Like I find this fails very frequently. And I love Bosch and Roll. I think he's saying it tongue in cheek. It doesn't always work. In fact, it doesn't even work that often, in my opinion. All right, they're fetching. Tundra. Tamio. Again, I've got answers for Tamio. Narset obviously answers Tamio if she hits. This is yet another Ponder. My opponent could absolutely counter this, sensing blood in the water. Okay, we're not dead. That I will take. I am going to go ahead and just Boomerang. I'm going to Plow. I'll respect Tamio. We do want to shuffle because we want to find land number 3 more than we want any of those other cards. If they force here, it's probably not that big a deal. Okay, they don't. I think they sense the fight is going to be about the Beanstalks once those come out. This digs. I think this is good enough to counter because it shuts off Boomerang Basics. My own Narset's pretty far away. What I'm going to do is I'm going to hope that as good as Narset is... No, I'll just pitch one of the Boomerang Basics. Well, Boomerang Basics draws me to cards. Narset, like if I just draw an island, Narset's insane against their deck. I think I'm going to do the high risk, high reward thing. All right. Okay. This first. First things first, back to basics. It's not forced. They said, that makes sense, lol. Yeah, it does. Yeah, I'm definitely going to take advantage of back to basics with my all basics deck. And I think any blue deck should, if they have that option. All right, so this is fine. We'll just jam Narset next. And yeah, we could Prof and we could just attack right through. I think that's fine too. Yeah, this will be big enough to kill Tamio. Was living in fear of that the whole game, they said. Staff is fine. So if I Boomerang Basics here, getting this back, that's an extra trigger. And it's an extra permanent buff on this Otter. And we found a land. That's pretty sweet. I'll play it out. I can't do anything with it yet. Let's go to combat. Always yield. 5/5 Otter. That's a terrifying Otter. They're not blocking, which I don't think is correct to block. But I don't know what's in their hand. Like I would probably just hope that you can draw out of this somehow. If they find Leyline Binding, it's tricky. They don't have the mana to use it. I don't care about this. I'm going to Narset next turn. Brainstorm. That does flip her, but she's dead to just the face-up Otter. And, I mean, I might just Narset and ignore her because they won't be able to ultimate. They don't have anything really powerful in their graveyard to return. They could go get a basic Plains. They might have that in their deck, and then they can clear this. Force, that is pretty stout. I think we just Narset. They probably force fight over that. The other option is Staff. That triggers this. Then we draw, and then we can kill Tamio. I think that's fine. And now we have another body, if they clear this, that we can put the tokens on next turn. This is enough, because I'll get the counter. What if I play this out? Yeah, I think I'll just play this out. And that way, this is big enough, and I can put the counters on something else. And they scoop to that. Right, game 3. I do want to bring in Force Negations. Okay, so on the draw, even less reason to have Ashbrands. Force Negation is what I want. I already have 6 in the deck, though. No, wait, I just added those 2. So I think Planisphere probably comes out. It's good, but it's slow. And we want to be somewhat fast. They said, I knew you had it in there, but my hand didn't really come together to deal with it. You see the Prismatic Vista and you know to be afraid. Yeah, Prismatic Vista and Back to Basics, ruining people's day since, I don't know, when was this printed? Like 1999 or something? Yeah. I mean, I could drop a Legion's Landing actually, and then keep a Planisphere. Actually, I'm going to drop both of these. This life gain isn't really that important. And it's important that I have blue density. I mean, with how savage the beans are, it might make sense to bring even another force in. I don't want to dilute our game plan too much, though. I think I'm going to keep it here. Because at the end of the day, we are a staff deck, and we want to have our token generators. All right, this is a mulligan. Be gentle deck. This is actually fine. I'm going to keep this. I'll put back the plow. Do I put back the plow? They could have early Tamio, early Felia. I think I want this, though, because I can force pitch, force negation, and then I have Boomerang Basics, and I can kind of combo off. And, like, I can't just hang back. I'm not going to win. Don't have Tamio, please. Okay, good. They mulled the 6 as well. No, wait, they didn't. They didn't mull at all. I just miscounted. Okay. All right, let's go ahead and just do this. We'll keep these up for later in case we find a Brainstorm. Land number 3 is probably fine. I can hardcast Force Negation if I can hang on long enough. I will force a Beanstalk here. I have to force this. I think it's fine to force with Force Negation. I don't want to force pitching Boomerang Basics because then my entire game plan goes out the window. There's a very real chance they force back here. Yeah, I'm just going to do this. No reason to take damage. Also, this denies them a card in their graveyard for the purpose of Murktide. All right, that's a good card. Start with playing out a land. I'm just going to go ahead and do this. And then I can hold this if I find another force. All right, those are good cards for sure. Well, this one that I drew, this was already on the table. I am going to Island. I'm just going to Storm Chaser again. I feel like aggression is our only path forward here while they dirtle and amass their resources. They do have a basic Plains in the deck, so that they could have potentially grabbed that last game with the Flooded Strand they had. Brainstorm. Love to see them, using cantrips like this because they tapped out a green. They would need a green source and a beans to get beans on the table. They probably need beans to really pick up the pace, but they could have Terminus in there and they could be setting it up. They put a beanstalk in the yard. Okay. They're really scared over there. That's crazy to me. Oh, well, this is just hold up force. Unfortunately, I can't like cash this in yet, so they might be able to remove it. But they like if they're binning Beanstalk, what do they have? Like I'll probably will I go after Narset? I don't even think I go after Narset. Do I force this? I think I do. They could clear it, but like it's a body, it's prowess triggers. I'm getting a lot more prowess triggers here. They're down to 3 cards. They might force again. Okay, we stop that. Okay. We got another body on the table. Like Solitude is definitely brutal. Or not Solitude, but Terminus if they stack their deck that way. I think they overestimate the aggression of my deck. It's not actually that aggressive. And that's why they bin the Beanstalk. Yeah, like, and that's why they're plowing that. Like, and that's to my benefit. My brainstorms are always so bad, is what they said, but they found a freaking plow and okay, they have another Beanstalk. Okay, now we're really in trouble. They don't have Leyline Binding Mana. They're actually screwed on mana. I think that's gonna maybe be what saves us here. All right, I'm gonna draw. Hopefully, find a white source. That is not a white source, but I will play it out because it gives me the ability to regrow next turn. I can regrow. I don't even know what I would regrow. Boomerang Basics probably, just for trying to finish them off. But we're definitely against the ropes here. That Beanstalk was huge. They could put a giant blocker out right now. What? Okay. I'm sorry, but you can't complain about your brainstorms when you have that many freaking Beanstalks. They've drawn all 4 Beanstalks. Now they have this, so they have infinite mana. Okay, like, I'm sorry. Don't complain about things when you draw like this. This would be like a god tier draw. See, like all 4 Beanstalks accounted for. And yeah. This is Wrath of the Skies. I'll concede to Wrath of the Skies. I won't concede to Wrath of the Skies because it'll wipe their board too. Yeah, that's fine. It's not good, but it's not the end. They have 1 card. Yeah, I don't know about that play at all. I probably wouldn't have done that. Okay, Planisphere, get on the table. And then we'll go ahead and Legion's Landing. If they have the ability to put Wrath of the Skies back on top, like with a fetch, we will still be able to connect, I believe. And if they have a fetch, that means they don't have business. They said, in my mind, that was a 5 mana spell. The Wrath? Yeah. Did they save any energy? They didn't. Not that it matters. They needed okay, I see. They needed the white mana so they could have cast that. All right, let's see if we can get across. Whoa, that's good. Let's do this. And any kind of cantrip card I draw makes this huge. I think I'm just going to go ahead and I can attack and then I can move this over later. They could have Felia, which would be really annoying. Felia would be super duper annoying if that's their last card. Okay, let's go ahead and go to combat here. And this is going to target this, I believe, just to make it Felia killer level. And we'll attack like this. And if they want to trade with Felia, they can. If they bring Felia in, she's going to start blinking all my stuff. It's going to be a disaster. Do you have Felia? That's probably the scariest thing they could have here. And of course they have it. Okay. Man. Yeah, I mean they've I don't know what to say here. Yeah, and of course they've got the combo. So they're gonna have a massive blocker. They're gonna refill their hand. I don't know how we possibly get out of this, but they are blinking, I believe, their own thing instead of mine. So if I can get this, if I can get lucky and refill my hand, I am gonna fetch in the end step here. And they have a Tamio, so they've got yet another blocker. It's going to be very hard to get past all this. They get 2 more cards. They get 3 more cards because of this ability. They flip their Tamio. No, wait. Did Tamio already flip? Okay, let's go ahead and fetch here. Just get a plains. Come on, deck. Don't give me bricks. Give me something that they can help me get out of this. All right, let's plow this, and then let's come in. I'm going to move this over so that this gets bigger, and they're both 3/3. They'll probably just have the plow. I probably should have done this after combat. They force. Okay. So I do get the trigger, but like these don't do a damn thing against this board. And unfortunately, they did blow up my Storm Chaser talent, so it's not like I can regrow. Like all my card advantage engines got snuffed very effectively by my opponent, and now they can draw cards. They can blink our stuff. Like if they attack in, I will kill Felia 3/3. I'll whatever's left, I'll trade for it, but it's going to be an extremely adverse situation. They get 2 cards during their upkeep because of the Riddler. I'm just really freaking tilted. Like I feel like it really hurts to lose like this. All right, they're coming in. They can easily just exile stuff. They're keeping Riddler back. They create a clue. I mean, like if they play a land and then they crack the clue, they can draw 2 more cards. They're just in an inassailable position here. Take care of that one, which makes sense. I am going to trade here. I just can't deal with Felia anymore. She's going to get rid of this next turn anyway if I don't kill her now. They have a plow, prismatic ending, anything like that? No? Okay. They're just so incredibly favored here. It's difficult for me to fathom what we could get, but we actually do get another turn here. I'm done. Like, yeah, I'm done. I don't want to play anymore. That was really frustrating. Okay, we're up against famous Pox player Blog Boy. I like this force hand. We got another 1-lander. It doesn't really do anything other than force and like dig for land. I'm going to mulligan it. This has lots of land. I think this is better. I think we just put back... What are the lands? Yeah, I'm going to put back a land. Hope they don't just destroy us. You could choose to not put back land, but I think most likely land is not going to... They're going to do something crazy here. Bury, turn 1. Yeah, if I can find a plow, that might be okay. Or if I find on thin ice, a lot of things I could find, but if I don't find any, I'll play this out and I'll pass. This is going to be a short game, unfortunately. They got a cool looking swamp there. Sinkhole, okay. So this is 3/4 now. I mean, we could still draw a plow, but this definitely makes me want to board out our on thin ice if they can sinkhole our lands. I haven't seen sinkhole in a while. I don't think it's legacy playable. Not in a format where everybody's playing days. Unstoppable Slasher? Can we ever live through that? So we've got 2 things we need to clear now. Let's go to the next game. I don't need to give more information about my deck. So here, this is Force Negation for sure. And I will take out on thin ice. I will take out... I don't want to take out Legion's Landing because it generates cards. I think probably we don't need all 6 of these. Because really we just need to be able to stop Loam. And maybe Witherbloom Command in some circumstances. Life from Loam. Yeah. Obviously we need to stop Smallpox. That card's just devastating. This is fine. I'm going to keep this. I like the volume of land here. I wish we had something better to do than just force their first play, but I'm not going to complain about it. We can open with fetch. Now that I know that they're playing Sinkhole, like I should always, like if I just played a land there that was a fetch, the Sinkhole wouldn't have been able to do anything. Okay, so I'll just memory here. Draw trigger. We can always bounce this and replay it if we have nothing else to do, but it is kind of a weak play. They're going to go ahead and level up their hatchery. Second hatchery. This is Smallpox. Sinkhole. I think I just let it go. Yeah, I'm not going to force that. I'm just not that impressed with that card. I love it. Like I used to have unlimited sinkholes and I used to play Pox, but I think time has passed it by. I'm going to go for Planisphere here. It gets us on board. And then when we force something, which we're most likely going to do next turn, then this will grow. And eventually, you know, they're doing damage to themselves. They will have a bunch of flying insects if they can successfully clear. Like this Smallpox is going to get cleared for sure. I'm just going to force negation, pitching Boomerang Basics. That has to happen. They're fetching. This might be like Fatal Push. Dark Ritual. Okay, so it's going to be something disastrous. Plague Engineer. Okay. Just going to choose Hero. Wizard. Okay, that works. Come on, deck. Give me something good. Unfortunately, this dies on arrival. I shouldn't play it. I can't really play anything here. I just had to chill, sadly. There's no way I can draw. So, I mean, if I play this out, it does buff this. But they have like so many different things that they could do that are just absolutely disgusting. Like if they resolve, yeah, I think I just need to wait for a turn cycle. This card isn't that intimidating on its own. Once we clear it, we'll be fine. But it does take away my initiative. I do just need to desperately force here. They can waste their own land to create a bunch of blockers here. I'll just take it. Okay, they're going to probably waste their own land here. I'm going to hold out just in case I do get a chance to brainstorm this land away. Would I really like to do that though? Yeah, I don't like fetching to thin, but obviously fetching to thin would have been good there. I'll play this out, and how much damage are we going to take? We're going to take quite a bit. But I just refuse to play this out and just have it die on arrival. Wait, if I could unequip this, then it's no longer a wizard. Yeah, unfortunately, I don't have anything to do with that. Okay, they just leveled it up. They're going to create a big swarm. It's going to be hard to get through all that. Liliana, I'm going to force that. This grows this further. Looks like they're going to come in again. I just need to hit them. I can't let this hold me back. If I draw like a brainstorm or something, it's a big deal. Storm Chaser's talent creates a body. We tack in. There's nothing in my graveyard really worth regrowing, but it's probably better than doing nothing here. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and play this out. I'll play this out. I'm just going to, put my hand on the table, essentially. They're fetching. Okay. What are they going to do here? Okay, they're getting me to sacrifice my creature. So now I get this creature. Fetch. Get an island. Fetch. Get a plains. I'll get another island. And I'll just go ahead and regrow with my mana. Regrow a force. All right. And they can still waste themselves and create like a ton of bodies. I can't really equip this to anything because then it becomes a wizard and it dies. Yeah, they could hit me for a lot here. I have to take this. I feel like my path to victory is like brainstorm, or something like that, and then profs. But they will be able to block. What I'll have to do is probably do it after combat so they won't... Of course, we didn't draw anything here. I think we're just dead, unfortunately. I don't think we're going to get another turn where they don't do something. I can level this up, but it doesn't really do anything. I'm not going to play with the land because then that just totally tips my hand as to what's up. This way, if they cast a spell, I can at least make a big enough thing. What are they doing here? Shows Eidetic. I don't think it's even worth like fighting over this. Now they're going to waste. They got 6. They're really waiting on this. They could have killed me this turn, I think. Or they got me to 1. Yeah. I don't know why they're not wasting here. But there's nothing I can draw. This game's over. Doesn't work. Good game. Yeah, like you could say, oh, but they might not find it. They're Blog Boy. They play Pox all day long. That's all they play. Right, round 4. We're going to try to rally after that disappointing loss to Blog Boy. We're up against fan of the channel. Unknown deck. I think this hand's great. I'm going to keep this. They are likely on blue-black tempo. Is what they've been playing most recently. If that's the case, this is pretty strong. I'm just going to cycle Ash Barrens. This kind of preserves some mystery. Obviously, once they see Ash Barrens, they're going to know that I'm on a no reserve list deck. Island, Ponder. Okay. Good opening. I like the island. From the Cowboy set. Nice fountain. Looks like something out of Bloodborne. Has anybody played Bloodborne? I love that game. Love the art style of it. Okay. Cycle. Get an island. They could absolutely have daze here. And if they daze, what is a bigger deal? For them dazing staff or them dazing memory? I like playing this just if they daze it, it's not that big of a deal. But staff that would be devastating if they daze it. If they daze this, that puts it, yeah, perfect. So now I'll have a much cleaner take on staff, and I won't have to worry about them immediately bowmastering me. I'll be able to draw the card off of it. So if you're going to play into daze, that's the way you do it. You just take your least important card and play it. And perfectly drew a second one. I'm going to go ahead and do this now. Okay, it's in, and I'm just going to draw the card immediately before they get the ability to do anything about it. So if they're playing the cheeky sinkhole, they can take us off this. Not a card that was on my bingo card of cards we were likely to encounter, by the way. Block Boy on double sinkhole. I think I saw 2 of them. Main phase, Brainstorm. They could have dazed because they didn't have a second land, and now they're desperately digging for it. Or they could have just assumed I'm not on daze when I'm playing Ash Baron in my mana base. Okay. So here, if we can create another dude, we have a clean shot. I could memory here and see if I find an island. I don't hate that. Luck. Lucky as heck. So if we brainstorm now, we don't have to worry about a lot of bad things that could happen here. We're able to hold up Plow, but I don't really need to hold up Plow. I could just Boomerang Basics here. I think that's probably fine. Get this back into our hand. Then we still get the buff. Yeah. And I could just redeploy for a new body, a new card. Let's go to combat, and we get 2+1/+1, I think. 3. Yeah. So it's 3/3. Let's come across, and we'll pass. All right. Our opponent is fetching in the instep. Undercity Sewers. So blue-black confirmed. They've been at Dark Ritual, so they're on Doomsday. Okay. That changes things. I was feeling pretty good, but now I'm not. Okay. At least this is not Dark Ritual Doomsday. Okay, Bayou comes out. All right. So here, I think they're unlikely to have main deck removal. I'm just going to go ahead and brainstorm first, see what we find, because this is going to do a lot of additional damage to them here. All right. Boomerang Basics, I don't think is where we need to be. I mean, I could Storm Chaser and Boomerang Basics. I actually do have a land to do that. Maybe that's not that bad. What I really do want to find is a Force. I don't want this Thin Ice card. I think I can put back 1 Boomerang Basics. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and ponder. So shuffle. Unless we find a fetch land, then it'll shuffle. This is just a Force. Or wait. We could Boomerang. Okay, well, let's think about this. So if we brainstorm a second time, that'll be 7+1/+1 counters on this. So it'll do a total 10. They'll be at 6. I still don't feel like that's where we want to be. I feel like where we want to be is just finding a Force. I'm going to ponder one more time and try to find a Force. I just want to respect the Doomsday capability of their deck. I am going to shuffle this. Okay, no Force. That's unfortunate. What I'll do now is I guess I just attack first, see what they do. I guess I should have done this first. Yeah, we'll attack for 8. And now we'll just play the staff, and we'll be shields down if they are able to kill us in 1 turn cycle. But otherwise, they're dead on board. We can fly right over Baragoyf. Tamio, we have lots of answers to her. It's just Doomsday that I'm afraid of here. Ponder. Even if they Doomsday, they're not going to have a whole lot of mana left. They shuffle the Ponder pretty quickly. This hoop. Okay. So yeah, that was a really great opening from our deck. And that's what our deck's all about. Against Doomsday, we didn't get to see their list because they didn't resolve Doomsday, but I'm thinking we probably bring in a couple Force Negations. I don't think Back to Basics is particularly strong against Doomsday because they have Dark Ritual, Petal, LED, stuff like that. Narcissus is great, but is it better than just sticking with our plan A of beating them down? The On Thin Ice comes down. I guess it wouldn't hurt to have a single Narset. It does screw up their piles to where they can't get through them as quickly. They have to like do stuff during your turn and stuff. I don't think it's that great though. I think what's more likely to happen is we lose because they resolve a Doomsday. So I'm just going to put another Force Negation in. Maybe on the play in game 3, if there's a game 3, I will switch back to and put a Narset in. This is not a classic Narset matchup. Like, she's really there for one ring and contingencies where you're like Beanstalk, obviously. She would have been really good and against that Beanstalk deck had I found her in time. Okay, this is a great hand. Storm Chaser Talent plus Boomerang Basics. We'll keep this. I'm going to probably pitch Eidetic Memory just because it's cool, but it's not as effectual as just Boomerang Basics. Okay, they open with Cavern of Souls. You don't generally want that in your opener. They might be planning to cycle through that or hope that we waste it. Or they have Tamio. That's a good start. Okay. Fear no Tamio. Let's go get our island. They can't daze us here. I'll stick a Storm Chaser Talent. And then if they want to start attacking us, they're going to at least take some damage in the process. Okay, this could represent Bowmasters. Street Wraith. They could flip here. And I can just Boomerang Basics back. And it's not that big of a deal. So they are getting the clue. So it's not like a no value. And then I'm bouncing it back to their hand, which is not as good as removing it. But this is the only way I have in my deck to remove her, is to bounce her back to hand. I think now is as good a time as any to go for it. Oh no, I played the wrong freaking card. I'm so sorry, my excellent friends. Unfortunately, that means... Yeah, I meant to cast the Boomerang Basics there. They could daze it, which would really be backbreaking, and I have to force. Do I want to risk it? The other option is I could just Boomerang Basics hit. Then I've got a lot of pressure coming down. I think I'm just going to Boomerang Basics my own thing. And then I'm knocking 2 loyalty off. And then I'll keep her treading water. And if they force this, it's not that big of a deal. All right. So we have lots of stuff to do next turn. Eidetic Memory makes this big enough. Okay, they're forcing... That's totally fine, I think. We're knocking 2 loyalty off her here. We got a Brainstorm out of their hand. With Eidetic Memory, she's going to take some damage if I don't have to force this turn cycle. If I do, then we are actually in a pretty bad spot. We'll have to regrow the Boomerang Basics and Bouncer before they ultimate. I'm not sure if I'll be able to do that in time. Ponder. So they're not doing anything scary over there, which I'm relieved. It's worth noting that they wouldn't have forced it, they had days, but they could be finding a days off this, but I wouldn't be looking for days at this point in the game. Trop. Another Tamio. Does defend the other Tamio. I think it's fine. Okay, this is pretty good. So what I'm going to do, go ahead and stick the memory first. That's the more important of the two. And then I can Brainstorm, and then we can try to kill Tamio. Mystical Dispute. If this happens, I could Brainstorm right now, but then I don't get the... Wait, no, it still counts. It still counts. I think I am going to Brainstorm right now. And then I'll hope to find a force. That way, or a blue card. Come on, blue card. Show me the blue card. Don't have a daze, please. Okay, this is fine. I'll put this back. Staff of the Storyteller can be played next turn. I'll put these 2 back. Wait, I did play a land this turn, right? Yeah, I did. Okay, good. I want to make sure I'm not missing a land drop. Okay. So we get our land, so we would have been able to use it anyway. Okay, we're actually in a pretty good place. Let's go to combat. Let's put it on that one. I'm going to attack both of Tamio. They'll probably just let her die. But I don't want to get into a situation where like they're able to juggle her. They may just flip the next one, but this is permanently bigger. And we have staff next turn. We know we're drawing a brick, unfortunately, but it's not that bad. So we'll get a prowess trigger we can draw, and then the Eidetic Memory buffs it further. Brainstorm. This flips it immediately. They should have created the clue first. There wasn't any reason not to do that. They scooped. I think they forgot about it and they were just embarrassed. Maybe. Or maybe they just didn't see what they needed on that. Yeah. But that felt great. That's what the deck wants to be doing. Final round. We're on the play. Unknown opponent. This hand's pretty good. It's got Storm Chaser Talent. It's got Island. Back to basics. Again, most important thing when you're playing a no reserve list deck, it has both the colors. If you're doing a no reserve list 1 color, it's not a big deal. But if you're doing 2 color, it's a huge deal. All right, so I'm just going to go ahead and Storm Chaser talent here. They didn't mulligan or anything, so I don't think they're on an unfair strategy. They might be. Okay, we're in. Basic Island, Petal. Okay, is this Doomsday again? Most likely. Ponder. This could also be Omnitel. All right. If they're on Omnitel, there's a decent chance that I just want to find. I mean, like usually this type of deck, like with Petal in it, is not going to have creatures. This is a bad card. So I think what I want to do is go ahead and brainstorm first. See if I can put this back and find something better. I probably also want to put back to basics. And ideally, I'd like to find a force and... Yeah, I mean, like as many forces as I can find is what I'm looking for. I wouldn't mind finding Eidetic Memory at this point. I wouldn't be able to play this turn cycle. Days? Oh, wait, they're forcing a brainstorm? Okay, they pitched a Days. I mean, they could have Days. Here's my instinct. My instinct is we just boomerang basic here. I don't think they're going to go off this turn because, like, why would they care about a brainstorm? Maybe they are. Maybe they're thinking like, oh, I just showed the Petal, so now they know I'm in combo. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and just... I mean, the safest thing to do is just ponder. And then if I find force, that's pretty good. And then next turn I can boomerang basics. Finding another brainstorm would be really good here. Like, I actually think that the force on the brainstorm was really sage, but it screwed us up in a very specific way where we're not able to put back these day cards. They're forcing again? Okay, wait, why'd they pitch Days there? That doesn't make any sense. Okay, well, I'll take it. They could have just Days there instead of forced, and they'd be up a card. They may be new to Legacy. I'm going to spare them judgment. And just because you're new to Legacy doesn't mean you can't show and tell, win. Does anybody else look at this island and think like, man, that looks delicious? I would love to eat that. Okay, they're on Doomsday. I think. Dragon? Wait, what? Dragon? Why dragon? Merc? Okay, uncounterable Merc. You got it. They have one card in hand. I think I just plow. And then I can just... I mean, they could have another Days. But it's too tempting to not just jam and get the max damage here and redeploy and have a second dude. Do another plow. Yeah, I think they're on some sort of Doomsday build. And yeah, I don't know why they were so aggressive by getting a Merc on the table. I mean, it does block, but... It run the Plains of Clutch there because we didn't have to bounce it back to hand and worry about it later. Now they've got this card that's terrible. Like, it doesn't cast anything in their deck other than like maybe a second Murktide. We can tap this down so it'll never untap with Back to Basics. And that'll also trigger our boys. Yeah, there we go. Days Protection. Love it. I mean, they had a really good hand. I think that they could have definitely played that differently. They had Force, Days, like 3 lands, and a Murktide. They had double Force, double Days. Okay, so they're on Doomsday, I'm going to presume. I just board like I boarded for the previous Doomsday opponent. Doomsday is a hard deck to play. I'm not going to be on Back to Basics here. They saw it already, so maybe they'll fetch around Basics and be worried about it. I'll take out Thin Ice. I'll just bring in the third Force Negation. Just on the draw. I'm already thinking about like the post board, like how I'm going to modify the deck, and I'm almost certain I'm going to take out on Thin Ice. The fact that it's not an instant or sorcery really cost us when we level 6'd our Storm Chaser talent. And I guess I hadn't thought about people playing Sinkhole in Legacy. But yeah, it was a marginal card. I mean, it's a sorcery speed card. This is fine. This is totally fine. We have both our colors. We can start with an aggressive start. Legion's Landing doesn't do a lot, but it does get on the table and potentially intimidate. So what I'll probably do is I'll lead with Legion's Landing instead of Storm Chaser. No, I should lead with Storm Chaser talent. That way I get the... Because their life total is a resource here. Mono black, Dark Ritual. Okay, do you have a Protected Doomsday? Oh, you have Baragoyf. That's not good for me. Right, it's a 1-2. It will remain a 1-2 because I'm just going to I mean, assuming they don't have a... yeah, I took home... I didn't take out my plows. I'm just going to play this one out first. Yeah, because this is the more important one. This one's just going to die to buy me time. If they daze here, is that actually... Well, they can't daze, but if they force... It does grow the Goyf. Yeah. When I was new to Legacy, I forced cantrips and stuff like that too. But after spending a lot of time watching Bosch and Roll and understanding just like the role that, you know, force and daze, like I don't even daze cantrips anymore. So hopefully my opponent will, if they watch this, hopefully they'll see that like that was not like the best line. Okay, this is extremely strong. Extremely strong. Wow, what a beating. Now they get to connect with Baragoyf. And it's only 2 cards. And it's unlikely to find anything, but if it does, it's devastating. And now my cantrips are shut off. And I can't play this out because then that goes to the yard and they get an extra type they're probably not going to have access to otherwise. Okay, Dazed Tamio, that does buff. And they get a Tamio. That's insane. Like the odds, like they probably have like 10 creatures in their entire deck. All right, so yeah, it's just got to be Storm Chaser talent and then Chump, sadly. And then we're just looking for Plow. Plow freezes of Bowmaster. And then the second Plow freezes of Baragoyf. The good news is we will be able to eventually regrow. We just need to tread water. So this keeps both of these from attacking. But it, like, I'll absolutely block Bowmaster if I get the chance. That is definitely the most powerful thing on the table right now. There's Tamio. Sadly, I do think I let this connect because this is holding back 2 attackers here. And yeah, I'm going to let this connect. I may deeply regret this depending on the roll of the dice here. Okay, they whiff. And it's still just a 2-3. So that was a very good decision to hold back. We got lucky, but yeah, I'm vindicated in my decision. Let's put it that way. Okay, more cards that don't do anything, unfortunately. Yeah, I think it's just correct to wait, because if we put this in the graveyard, we get another one, but I think I'll wait one more turn. And like this turn, maybe I want to block, and then I can play that out and have another blocker. This will grow. I hope they try to do something that I can counter with force, because I can hardcast it right now. But if they just keep jamming creatures, it's a nightmare for me. Because I'm like my hand was set up to stop Doomsday, not to stop the creatures. They've been another Tamio. Okay, they're attacking with Tamio. Like they've got like this is a less than 5% chance game right here that I would totally not fault anybody for scooping. We can't get it big enough in time. I was thinking we can't erase Bowmaster here. Yeah, and blue-black is our natural predator here. Cracking a clue here. Do they have a cantrip? I will force a cantrip just to keep her small for a turn cycle, because that'll just be one more thing I have to deal with. Yeah, I'm going to go for this. And if they daze it, it's like I'm not winning a game where I'm like pitching even more cards, even though these cards are technically uncastable. The moment I get out from under Bowmaster's boot, I'll be able to fix my hand and do lots of good stuff. They force here. I'm going to force back. Okay, so they're like very close to Hellbent, but again, they get potentially 2 extra cards per turn cycle, so that doesn't really matter. Plow, please. I could take one more turn cycle. You know what? I don't want to play this game. I'm not having fun, frankly, and I don't think I'm likely to win. Let's go to game 3. Okay, so they brought in a bunch of creatures. They could just be blue-black. They might not even have Doomsday in their deck. Do we consider, or any, like, why would you play Petal? I don't know. On the play, I'm thinking we don't have the Force Negations. They weren't very good there. We could do Thin Ice. It's weird because, like, they may just try to Dark Ritual Doomsday us now, and then we're screwed. Battle of Bywater is actually not that great here because it just kills Baragoyf. It doesn't even kill the Bowmaster, which is the real problem. I'm going to assume that they're on a more creature-heavy juke here. I don't think Back to Basics is correct. Why? No, they have to be on Doomsday. They have to be on Doomsday. There's no way you can play Petal and Caverns in a, they have to be on Doomsday. So yeah, I think maybe we keep one of these and we bring in 2 forces. All right. We kind of split the difference there, but we're on the play. Hand is mediocre, frankly. We may never draw a white source, but if we do, it's very good. But it may be very mediocre depending on what they do. If they just Thoughtseize us off the bat, like we're screwed. I think we can do better. I'm going to mulligan. This sucks too. This is really bad, unfortunately. We can put back Profts, and then we can play out plans, and then we can Ash Brands. But we do have a plow. But if they Doomsday us, we're naked. But again, this has both my colors. I'm not going to complain too hard. Tamiyo, that's something I can plow. And I'll plow it next turn around days. Island. Okay, so let's go ahead and play this out. Let's take care of the urgent fire here. Now I'm going to do a suboptimal brainstorm intentionally. I don't do this often, but I want to get these out of my hand before the Bowmasters arrive. Unfortunately, we still do not have access to force. We do have staff, which I want to draw next turn. And then I can use staff to draw a card deeper. What cards do we want to protect here? Staff is definitely spoken for. I don't really care about these blue cards too much. Proft's Eidetic Memory is the most powerful. So I guess I could put that. Then I draw this next turn. Okay. And I am glad that I did it the way I did it. Like, we're a little bit more resilient to Thoughtseize now if they choose to do that. But if they just Dark Ritual Doomsday, there's just nothing we can do, unfortunately. Another Tamiyo. Street Wraith. Okay. Do they have another Street Wraith to flip her immediately? They don't. Thank goodness. They kept. I'm worried that might be Baragwaif, Doomsday, any number of terrifying things. We're almost up to regrow plow mana. I'm just going to do this. And I'll immediately draw so we don't have to worry about Bowmasters. They may force this. They do force it. That was heads up. Okay. Well, I'm going to attempt to play this. Just if they daze it, it's not that big of a deal. This card really doesn't do anything here. Unfortunately, it probably dies the Bowmaster next turn is what it does. Yeah, double Tamiyo, Bowmasters. Like, they force blue card. What did they pitch here? They pitched a Brazen Borrower. Yeah, like they're the most tempo-y Doomsday build I've seen in many months. Let's put it that way. Now, if they have any cantrip, they need 2 cantrips, but they should be able to flip her here if they want to. Okay, they crack. Okay, they don't flip her. That's nice. Okay, let's Profts. I wish I had another land. Am I drawing? No, actually, I think I'm drawing wild. I am going to Profts here. Maximize likelihood of land draw. I could have brainstormed first, but yeah, I probably actually should have brainstormed and then Profts, and then I would be hitting for a lot more. Oh, there we go. That's good. So I'm going to go ahead and brainstorm here. And I can't shuffle these away, but I might be able to find a force. This will put a lot of damage on them. I'll gain some life. Okay, these are fine. I want to put staff. Let's see. Astral Illusion Planisphere is probably weakest here. So I'll just do it like that. And again, I'm doing this around potential like Bowmasters, other cards they could have. I'm just hoping they're not playing a lot of removal here. Next turn, if I staff, it's pretty good. I have the mana to regrow and plow. I'll probably actually be doing that next turn. If they flip her, I might be able to just pressure her to death. Yeah, they can flip her this turn if they want to. And I won't be able to plow anymore. Brainstorm, okay, that flips her. I mean, this actually kills her straight up. It's already a 5/5. I just have to hope that they don't have a way to remove. They did show Brazen Borrower earlier. That might be their removal spell of choice. They didn't even attack, so they don't get the clue. Please don't have a Fatal Push. I really don't want to die to Tamiyo Ultimate here. Yeah, it looks like they may have Fatal Push. If they just play a younger Tamiyo, that will do it too. Yep, they have it. Okay. So there's nothing on the top of my deck that deals with this at all, unfortunately. So let's do this. Staff. If they just have a force, it's like so annoying because, okay, I'm going to at least be able to draw a card here. The card is Planisphere. Let's draw. I will play this out. Do they have days? They might have days. If I play Storm Chaser out, then I can at least regrow to deal with a... Yeah, I think it's more important to have Storm Chaser out than anything here. I'm going to do it. And they can regrow push if they need to, but that means that they're not going to kill me. Let's go ahead and put the counter on this. Next turn we can draw again and we can do more. We can even, we can draw like several turns in a row with this Planisphere. If they Merc, I'm just going to regrow and I'll attack with everything I have. If they Baragoyf, I'm going to regrow, and a lot of it comes down to whether they have days, unfortunately. Long goodbye. Okay. They are playing a lot of removal. I don't know how they're playing Doomsday. They may have just sideboarded out of Doomsday completely. Another Tamio. So sadly, if they plus here, I have to regrow Plow, and then I'm only doing 1 damage. Okay, that's actually not that bad. They regrow a Fatal Push. They're going to push this? Okay. I think I'm just going to Plow this Tamio so they don't get to draw any more cards. They're down to 2 cards over there. Okay, that is not atrocious because that allows us to regrow, Plow, and draw. I'm going to start with the draw. See what I draw. No, I'm going to draw after I make sure that this resolves. And we actually have the ability to ultimate this later if we want to. Okay, and now I'm just going to draw immediately. I don't have a character or a creature to give the... Oh, that's good. We can just bounce this back to hand later if we need to, or bounce a Merc or whatever. I might bounce this and just reuse it. Okay, we're just going to be slow and steady, outvalue them over the next few turns and hope that they don't Shadow Ramos with a Doomsday out of nowhere. Brainstorm. There are a lot of things they could draw that would be very painful here, like Baragoyf. Thoughtseize is fine. They'll probably take Boomerang Basics here. If they have Bowmasters, it might make sense to just take the Planisphere. Okay, they took the Boomerang Basics. They've had stuff to do every single step. Yeah, like they're getting tons of cantrips. There's cantrip number 4. We've plowed 2 Tamios. They force pitched Brazen Burrow. They've been getting some really good draws. I'm doing my best to try to keep up here. They didn't shuffle. Okay, I don't know what that means. All right, I'm going to go for this. It's in. That's fine. I'm going to draw trigger. I'm hopefully going to hit something else that can draw again. That does draw again. So now this is getting bigger, but it's still just chilling there and they can minus. But I do want to use it now. So this will be a stacked hero token by the end of the turn, but I'm not sure if it'll be good enough. Boomerang Basics can just bounce this right back to hand. And then we have a giant hero token. They probably kept because they have like Baragoyf or Murktide or something on top. If I Boomerang Basics, I don't have the mana to Boomerang Basics anything here. I just take the force and I wait a turn cycle. I force whatever they do this turn. Boomerang Basics on top. Yeah, we'll do that. Okay, and now we get, like, we drew a couple cards too, so we're going to get that ability as well. I might force to just protect this because this is how I kill Tamio and do other stuff. So 5/5, we'll pass with double days protected, force as our interaction, and we can always ultimate this, but it doesn't feel like a great use of mana against a deck that has Brazen Borrower in it. Of course, they may only be playing 1 Brazen Borrower. I think we just force Baragoyf. No, wait, I can just kill them. They're pretty low on life. Yeah, if I just bounce Baragoyf back to hand, I'll probably have the ammunition I need to kill them this turn cycle. Because is that true though? Well, yeah, I can play Astrologian Planisphere, draw trigger, then and that triggers that, and then I Boomerang, and I'll do lots of stuff this turn. They have 2 cards in hand, so they can't have force plus threat. So I just force whatever threat they play here. They're getting long goodbye back. Okay, that's fine. Like what I just did last turn, I can do this again with this one. I can actually double equip it. Okay, that's dead. Do you have Merc? No? Okay. Well, I'm happy that Tamio's gone. I dealt with 3 of their likely 4 Tamios there. Right. So Bowmaster would be scary, but I do have interaction for that. So I think this is just Planisphere. I'm choked on blue mana. Planisphere and then Boomerang Basics. But if I do that, then Bowmaster destroys me. I think I just get back the this. And now I can force pitch this if they have boom. Okay, they don't. All right. So now I don't think things are that hard. I'm going to go ahead and play this again. It's probably better to play this, but yeah, I might find an island off this and be able to regrow something this turn cycle. Okay, let's draw. Well, the drawing's good. Okay, we have lots of blue cards. I'm just going to pass. I'll buff that. It's pretty big. They're going to need to keep finding removal, or we're going to steamroll them. If they force, I can just regrow the force and keep attacking. Like if they play something that I need to force. Okay, they don't. Okay, Prismatic Vista gets us as another island, which is nice. I'll go ahead and do that before I do anything. They may have Hardcast Force up. I think I'm going to start with the Storm Chaser talent just to test the waters. Now I can go ahead and attempt to draw. Plow answers a lot of stuff. I just want to kill them straight up. I'm going to go ahead and Boomerang Basics here. No, wait. I can just regrow a card and just take it slow and safe. See, I'm hitting them for 6 now. No, I only drew 1. Yeah, I do want to... This will be lethal if they don't have exactly like an answer. Okay, here comes their card. It's a Hardcast Force. So this doesn't really matter. I think they're dead. Yeah, I'm just going to keep my shields up and I'll just swing twice, I guess. Actually, I'll just play this out. No, wait. I could regrow something here. It's fine. I'll just come across. I'll hit them to 1. That significantly restricts what they can do for the rest of the game. And now I think this just regrow something here. But if I regrow, then like they could maybe force something through. I'm trying to think of what I'm even scared of. Doomsday kills them. I can deal with any creature they play. I can't think of any one card that I'm scared of. I'll just pass. Yeah. Okay, and they're passing here. Bowmasters is the scariest card they could play because it produces blockers and disrupts me, but I will be forcing that. Okay, now I feel like I'm in a pretty good position. I'm going to go ahead and start with this. Just going to regrow a force or a blue card. And then I'll just come in for my lethal attack. I just want to make sure that if they have a Bowmaster, I can definitely stop it. Because I don't want to give them extra turns if I don't have to. And forcing will make these grow even further. Okay, this is the Bowmasters that I knew they had. I didn't know it, but I suspected they had it. So it makes sense to pitch the Boomerang Basics here. Okay, the Dark Ritual. Okay, what comes out of Dark Ritual here? Force of Will? They don't have double blue. Okay. All right, they just Dark Ritual and burn it off. They have something else? Okay, we got it. So that's a 3-2. All right, and yeah, we got the 3-2. I think the losses were Blog Boy, dedicated, very strong Pox player, whom I've had only positive interactions. If I seem salty in that match, it's just because he destroyed me so thoroughly. And my deck was not cooperating very well. The other matchup was, of course, I think the Big Beans deck. Was that the Harry 1-2-3-2 guy? I can't remember, but it's a very strong deck. Let's put it that way. And you can see plenty of examples of it just being incredibly powerful. I think that might have been the matchup where they like outdrew me by like a factor of like 2. So how do I feel about this deck? I think On Thin Ice should be cut. I like 19 lands. I think that's correct. I think 1 Ash Barrens is fine. I tried playing 2. It's just a janky card doesn't belong in Legacy. And again, I may have said this in the deck tech, but like they just need to print another type of Prismatic Vista. There should never be any reason why you can't just fetch as many of the basic lands as you want. That are basic lands. Come on, give us a break. They've done functional print like Lawnmower Elves, and then they did Finhorn Elves. I'm sure there are lots of other functional reprints, and I hope they do that for Prismatic Vista as well, because I really do believe that that'll be a huge shot in the arm for no reserve list builds. The other thing I'll say about this is, yeah, with Boomerang Basics and Plow, I didn't ever feel that much under the gun by creatures. I really do believe that this Battle of Bywater will come in against Eldrazi. I mean, and I also think that having a back to basics in the side is fine. So that leaves us with 2 slots that we can fill here. This was so good. Like, it got forced so many times because opponents were like, oh, that looks scary, you know, and it was really good. I'm trying to think if there are any other token generating permanents that are 1 or 2 mana in blue or white. I don't think there are. We could go up to the 4th Legion's Landing. I mean, this card was fine. It's just not that exceptional against Bowmasters. The real thing I think that this needs is like Prismatic Vista or Prismatic Ending feels bad in a 2-color deck because it misses so much stuff, but I think it's probably fine to play them here because Tamiyo's everywhere. She flips. This also deals with Chalice. It deals with a lot of problematic things. So I think what I would do is I'd probably do 1 Prismatic Ending main, 1 in the side, and then I'd probably move a Force Negation into the main. Yeah. And there's a saying that, like, somebody told me a long time ago, like, you're doing it wrong if you've got the same cards in your sideboard that you've got in your main deck. But I think this is a great example of, like, we do want that. We do want access to an additional Prismatic Ending in the... this will be dead in some matchups, and this is going to be dead in some matchups, and we're just kind of splitting the difference so we don't completely get destroyed game 1. But against tempo, you don't mind at all having Prismatic Ending only be able to hit 2 drops because you're almost always just hitting 1 and 2 drops, right? This will have blind spots in that it can't hit a Baraglyph. But I do think that like an additional piece of removal would be pretty welcome, especially if it's as flexible as this. Yeah, I mean, I like this a lot. It's obviously not as aggressive as my mono blue list with the baubles and the wastelands and the dazes and stuff. I think it's a lot more fun to play, frankly. Like I'm just so burnt out on playing Daze Wasteland decks. And I will play Tempo eventually, but I don't actually think Tempo is that great, even though it's so well represented in the meta right now. Blue-Black Tempo is good, but like I saw Max Torsion did really well in a challenge. I think top 8 of the challenge, and he was only playing two Dazes, right? I still think it's fine to play tons of Wastelands, but I don't think Daze is necessary right now. So if that's the case, like why not go up to having like a really cool end game where you've just got tons of mana, tons of things to do with it. And there were times when we were completely out of gas, but that was usually because our mulligans were really rough. That's not because like the deck like hit its fail rate necessarily. I mean, you could argue that is hitting the fail rate, but I really love this deck. By the way, like I'm not going to publish the Felia League. I'll just summarize it here. So I put Felia in this deck and just got destroyed. I like went 1-4 and Felia was comically terrible in this deck. My thinking about Felia is Felia's only good if you're blinking Overlord of Baelmerk, or you're blinking Meteor Sword, or you're blinking, Quantum Riddler, of course. If you're blinking something really, really good. If you're merely blinking like a Staff of the Storyteller, it is not worth the 2 mana, and she will not generally survive to combat against a capable player. She's going to get dazed, she's going to get forced, she's going to get plowed, she's going to get Karakas, all of which happen to be in that league that I'm not going to publish because it's extremely frustrating. So if you're tempted to play this and like the first thing you think is, oh, we should put Felia in here, go for it, try it, but just heed my warning. I don't think Felia is a good fit for this particular build. I think she's great in Beans, but not here. And I think she's great in Death and Taxes, and I think she's great in Stoneblade, but this is not the list this is not the Felia list you're looking for, in my humble opinion. Storm Chaser talent was probably the all-star of the entire league. Like this regrew so many times. We got so many like hit for 5 off of an otter type things where we were able to just like do tons of damage against them. So I like this deck because it can kind of go fast and go slow, but it's not like going really fast. When I was playing the mono blue version, I remember there was a turn where I got like a bunch of baubles. I only had 3 lands out, but I had like 6 power and toughness on both of my otters, and I just killed them like turn 3 or something. It was crazy. You're not going to have turns like that when you're putting planes in your deck and you're relying on, plowing to get rid of their creatures, which gives them life and gets them further out of damage. By the way, a lot of tempo players are like, hey, that's not a tempo deck. You're playing plow. I genuinely think this is the best removal spell ever printed, and the fact that they gain some life, big deal. It's not that big of a deal. You can easily recoup the life lost by hitting them with a DRC one time, or hitting them with a Delver, or hitting them with a Storm Chaser Talent Otter if you're in 2026. So I'll leave it there. I like this list a lot. I'm going to definitely be playing it more on the channel, but as you probably can tell if you've seen any of my uploads recently, I am completely enamored with Up the Beanstalk. I think it's a tier deck, and it feels so good to play just like this inassailable control deck that can beat everything basically on a good day if you play tight. And this is not that, frankly. This is not like, if I would not take this to a major tournament. I would definitely take beans right now. There's no question. Like if I'm going to a tournament tomorrow, if I'm going to like Hunter Burton, or if I'm going to like Buffalo Chicken Dip, or if I'm going to Eternal Weekend or anything like that, Oklahoma Land Run, I would absolutely jam beans. I'll show you the list. You've probably seen it a million times, but it is my jam 100%. Here's my current build in its glory. This is the ultimate Swiss Army knife deck. I just feel so powerful when I'm wielding it. Yes, it does have reserve list cards. It has Savannah. It has 2 Trops. It has 2 Tundras. That was probably about $2,000 worth of cardboard if you're just getting the cheap whiteboard or revised ones. I say cheap. They're not cheap. Maybe 2,500, but like this is not that inaccessible. It's not like you have to go get 4 Underground Seas. And yeah, I guess it has Quantum Riddler too, which is $50. It's got Tomio, which is $50. Yeah, it's an expensive deck, but like if you really want to win, like I feel like this is what you want to be playing right now if you want to play control. So look for more videos of this too, but I'll continue to try to do the no reserve list. Just know that it's really freaking uphill. Like it feels so much harder playing a no reserve list deck than it does to be playing, in a beautiful 3-color pile like this. So, but I hope you're enjoying the no reserve list brews. I hope you're having a lot of fun jamming some Legacy. I do believe that what we played today was a great way to get somebody into Legacy. It's only like $700 or something like that. And you might be able to just grab a bunch of Modern cards if you already play Modern, and just add some Force of Wills and you're good, right? So I definitely want to try to inspire as many people as possible to get into Legacy. And I think the way to do that is to make it so Legacy is not so, kind of like knee jerk. Wow, that's expensive. And I think the way you do that is just these no reserve list builds. So until next time, be excellent to each other and party on.